The intro stuff is important, but here's the things to really look out for this week. You are going to have a quiz, so this part here, important. Other things that you're going to have to do is your discussion post. So that's pretty easy as well. This is going to go through your project too, and then I'll give you a little bit of a layout of what I did for my project two. So I've already done my project two, but I wanted to at least go over what you're going to look for in your six. You've got a lot of resources, and in this particular week, you're going to be doing your test out quiz. So let's go up, check out the grades like we always do. And while we're doing that, if this is your first time ever listening to one of my video podcasts, or if this is your first time ever hearing me, my name is Giovanni. I am a junior at Southern New Hampshire University, and my focus is on information systems, in particular, cybersecurity. As you can see, I'm holding an A in this class, and just to go through where we are and kind of grade-wise where everything is. He has not finished up the 5 yet. I'm assuming he will get that done by close of business today because we're going into week 6. So you're going to have your discussion posts, which will deal with vulnerability management. Typically Monday through Wednesday is the way I do mine, because Thursday, the discussion post is due. So I typically get that done Wednesday evening right after work, or sometimes on my lunch break, I will get that done. If you don't know, I work full-time, 40 hours a week. School is one aspect of what I do. If you're going through week 6, there's vulnerability management. I did my posts way early on. My posts always look like this. So you're going to see, I do a lot of like photos and things like that, just to make when you're getting ready to do the post a lot easier. Because sometimes it gets so tough trying to, like, everybody's reading the same thing and it all looks the same. So I just try not to do that. I try to just make sure that I keep things, and I apologize, my Roomba is running in the background, but we're going to get this out of the way anyway. I hope you guys don't hear that, but if you do, that's just part of life. We'll keep going. So you're going to be talking about vulnerability management. Here's what I want you to focus on. Take these questions, okay? Put them into headings inside of a Google document. It makes it so much easier to make sure that you hit all of the points if you go through, make them headings, and then just answer the questions as headings. That'll take care of that. Now, test out, as far as firewalls are concerned. This quiz, the portion for a test out, won't be that difficult for you. If you've had any type of experience that has to do with firewalls, even if it's at like a minimal level, you should be able to do this. When you go into the exams, it'll show you like the report for it. In this case, did it 100%. This is what test out does to try to give you like what you learned and improving what you know. So this is really all that you need to get done for this particular week. So week 6 really won't have that much that you need to focus on. This is where, when I started going through and looking at it, I figured out, oh, okay, we've got the documentation for what our next project will be. At the time, I did not think about that this was going to be due the next week. I just went ahead and started doing it. So with this, we're just going to talk about it. It's not due to week 7, but we're just going to talk about it now. Week 7, couple of things that I suggest that you do. First of all, open up the documentation to see what the current system data is, because this portion right here is only your intro, your scenario. That's all it's going to tell you. And then it's going to tell you need to do your roles and responsibilities. You've got to do user awareness training, access controls, vulnerability management, backup and recovery, as well as internet-facing security. So when we get ready to talk about all of that, I do have just one small portion of this I think is important, is, again, break these down into some really easy ways. Break them down into headings. Break down this area here. Like, for example, roles and responsibilities. It states, identify who will be responsible for ensuring information security within the system and describe the responsibilities of each role. So what I will do is pull up for you guys what I did in my document. What I did was put together several different things, but in this, here are the roles that I put out. For example, the CIO, Chief Information Officer, going through and saying what the CIO will do in some of the breakdowns, the ISM, okay, and the IT team. So those are things that I think that you'll break down. I'll give you warning now if you're planning to try to take and slow down this video so that you can answer this. Once this is posted, this goes into the plagiarism side of things. So once you submit, this does get counted, and all of this data will get captured by Southern New Hampshire University, and it's part of their system. So if you were to submit any portion of this as a part of your paper, they will know that this belonged to me, and then they will capture it and say you have a 70% or an 80% of plagiarism. There is a way for you to go through to make sure that your papers are not plagiarized. So for example, if you do have the capability to have Grammarly is a great option for that. So if you've never used Grammarly, Grammarly will give you a plagiarized opportunity, and it'll go through your paper. And I'm just showing you guys now because I did have someone ask me how you would go through to check your paper for plagiarism. There are several different ways. One of them that I think is useful, if you have Grammarly, which a lot of students already do, if you don't know what Grammarly is, Grammarly will go through to check your content to find out like, hey, look, this has this. And what it will say is, hey, this was a reference that was not copied. Do you want to copy this reference? So if you pulled something from somewhere, you can copy that reference and then put it into your sources area. I already have a lot of these because they're concerning different areas of sources. So they're already here, but that's how you would do it. Grammarly works wonderful for that. I won't go into more detail on that, but I would suggest if you are looking for how to get through your paper and not have it plagiarized, this will give you at least a good idea, and it will tell you, hey, this is how much, and you can go through and you can change it. It's not just APA format, but that is what they use, meaning that is what our college uses. So I would go through your paper and do that. That will help you to know where your paper is. Grammarly is great for that, and you can have it go into Google Documents. So if you're using Google Documents to do most of your work, this will be a great way to do that. Now, back to the project. Again, this project is not due until 7. We're getting a head start on it. Here is the company overview portion. Make sure the company overview portion, you read through that because this is going to be very important to you. And so when you get ready to answer your paper, do your paper, you're going to need to use that portion. You're going to do the security plan. So that's really what it's going to be. And there is a security plan template. So when you open this template will just be basic. So it will have things that just says roles and responsibilities. And then you have to go through and really answer that. Now, I do mine in a much more paper-based way of doing it. You can just go in and fill it in, but this is an example to give you guys that I think will work really well and it meets the requirements. That is it. Again, this project is not due until week 7. We are finishing up week 6. So for week 6, the only 2 things that you need to do for week 6 is go through and finish up your test out content. And you also need to make sure that you do your discussion post. So not only your initial discussion post, but you also need to make sure that you follow up with 2 of your peers from class. So outside of that, it is an easy week. Week 7 will be a bit more involved, and I'll go through that portion as well with you guys, but just wanted to give you a heads up. If anything here that I have mentioned has helped you out, then I would please ask for an inside of YouTube or a like on this podcast, because this does take a lot to produce. But if for some reason there's questions that you have, you can respond right inside of the video. If you are watching this on YouTube or whatever platform you're watching this on, you can ask questions. Those questions will come directly to me. If for some reason you're listening on the podcast, you can find me. I am Giovanni Hale on all of the socials. So that is all that I have for you guys. If there's anything else that I can assist you with, by all means, send me a message and I will chat with you guys later.